Hi, Ma Patricia, it's Rochelle. How are you doing? I wrote a very major organization about you and Anna Marie on Friday. I expect I will hear something back from them on Monday. Today, right now, I'm doing a very important ceremony and would very much like to include you. If you are able to call me back, do so. I love you more than you possibly know. I appreciate your daughter and you very, very greatly and highly. And any of the world doesn't. I appreciate you and your daughter and your sister and your other daughter, both your daughters, and all of your family. I appreciate uh, you and Martha and Anna Marie and Laura, and I appreciate so highly value also all of your children and grandchildren, Angela and April and Rosa and Edith and Ben and Shannon and John. And I appreciate our own family branches too. And even if I'm the only one on this planet who fully understands how important the family tree of life, love and life really is, I am here and I am doing it. And God is watching. Don't be afraid to come and talk because you're a very holy sunflower. You're a very, very holy sunflower, and your daughter is a holy singing cricket. And we need to remember all the generations that need to be remembered in order to regain our consciousness on this planet. Don't doubt yourself for your value for a moment. You deserve the highest dignity and the highest place in this world. I love you very much. Talk to you soon. And in any world, but especially this world. Oh, I'm going to have to repeat this because I forgot to turn the microphone on the broadcast. So let me start this all over again. You're going to hear this repeated again. And what we're looking at on the screen is the depiction of the Eleusinian mysteries with the breastfeeding mother and the Statue of Liberty flanking the pictures of all of our great and grandmothers of their gens, of our various branches of our family. Then we have a circle table set for all women. And then we have a table set that looks like the Last Supper, but we are changing that into the first breakfast and the ongoing breakfast. And what are we breaking from? We're breaking from the scourge that patriarchy is on most people, and we're giving instead eternal life to everyone. So we are the first breakfast. And also underneath that, we have a picture of the Eleusinian fields of spring as painted in the very famous pictures.
Please enter your message, press 1. To hear it again, press 2. If you do not know your PIN, your input is invalid. Please speak after the tone. Press pound when finished.
I apologize for our delay in getting started. We had some arrangements to do, and so we are getting started now. But we are on both the teleconference line and the phone tree line, and we so that you could call in. You can call in. You all know the teleconference number from our family. Everyone's been given this number for many years now. 773. What is it? 641-715-3580, and the access number is 773-342. And we're also on the phone tree, which many people conveniently call into also, which is 641-715-3800, and we are on, and the access code there is 29274, and we are on extension 3521, which is the address that was the home that was the hat, crown, halo, trying on place for so many women and their children and youths, females and males, who came to gather at what we like to call not Independence and Roosevelt area of the heartland, but also we're going to call it Interdependence and Risen Roosevelt. Risen Rose, Risen Roosevelt. And Roosevelt, the word Welt means the world. So it's a risen world. It's a risen world when neighbor women recognize that they are related, and they gather their families together, and they bring democracy to everybody. We have given you the tool to do this. It's the new millennial golden rule. As soon as you do this, your neighborhood can become solar, permaculture, agriculture. You have heavens on earth, Eleusinian fields, gardens of Edens, anywhere and everywhere. So anybody who figures this out, and a lot of people have already, there's a group called the Transition Towns. There are a lot of people. They're all over the world. There's millions of them. Many of them have consciousness currencies like the ones that I've been distributing to you. And they have received ours, and they're probably using the model. I have to check back with them and find out. I haven't spoken with them in a little while. This is easy. You become ELLECT, elect. You don't have to go through the media to pay a lot of money for an ad to have heaven on earth and earths. When you figure this out, you can open the Stargate. Because what God has always been looking for is a society where people love one another. Now, I was saying that I wanted to say we are looking at this picture of the breastfeeding mother with her daughter and her son in her arms, and the Statue of Liberty, who is the goddess Astrea or Astra of Atlantis, flanking the pictures of our great and grandmothers of all the branches of our family and community. And then we have beneath that picture of the great and grandmothers, the picture of all our current Chiquinas who are in their middle ages, usually many of their mothers or aunts, some of them maybe grandmothers, and or great aunts, and some of them are, and we have the, next to them, the picture of the younger Shekinahs and young Hekinahs. You know who you are. And we need to add a few more actually to that. I don't know if I have a current picture of Yishai, but we have all of the young women, I think, most of the young women. I also need to add Anna Maria and Mavtrusha's picture to this. And I have to get one for Lee and Shu-Ann, who you've heard from, and Naomi. I think I have Naomi, but I have a picture of her, but I can add her. These are people you've heard from recently on this line. You've also heard from other women over the years, and you've heard from each other over the years. But you've gotten into the pattern of ignoring each other and not coming to the conference line. And because why? Because you're socialized to patriarchy. And why are you socialized to patriarchy? Because you're watching print media, you're reading print media, and watching television that are controlled by 231 mostly old men. There are maybe one or two token women and maybe one or two token non-majority race people. The rest are all 231 white old men, mostly over age 70. In other words, it's a patriarchy. What have they kept from you? That billions of people live under gender parity right now. They've kept from you that Germany is 50% solar and the United States is 3% solar, and heavily dependent on oil, that they are still engaging with the sheiks of the Middle East. In other words, they've turned North America into Saudi Arabia. We have CEOs that are even wealthier than the sheiks of Saudi Arabia. Kuwait currently now has at or slightly more women in its government than the United States. Pakistan has clearly more women than in its government than the United States. And they put a few females in front of you who wink and blink and smile, some reading the teleprompters, and some are very carefully picked women for being allowed into the political environment, who don't want to tell you about parity, or are afraid to tell you about parity. With the women, it's a little bit unclear how much of this is that they don't want to, or how much of it is that they are afraid to. But what we are saying to all people, including the CEOs, including the sheiks, is that the key to eternal life has always been understood in all the faiths of the world, and it is egalitarian, and it was proved in Atlantis. That was where they had the greatest ceremonies for eternal life. And it's clear that the Ceres Persephone and Ceres Triptolemus, or you might call it the Hera and Hebe, or the and then Hera and Apollo, and Aurora and Apollo, or you also can call it Cybele and Venus and Marsyas, or whatever names you give to the young, the more mature goddesses and the younger goddesses and younger gods. That these are the gods of peace culture, and they are the ones who give eternal life. The old men gods, like Kronos and Zeus, were always fighting. They had huge wars. That's true in the Nordic heritage very clearly. Fascinatingly enough, even though the Nordics were the most fearsome of people, the Vikings, they are right now the leading peace culture in the world, because they have the clearest gender parity and have had it for some time. They run around the world making peace. When I was in Israel, I met a lot of them when I stayed on a kibbutz. There were loads of Swedes there. And they are a culture that we should have paid more attention to. But your media has now presented the fact that they've had lots of women presidents, and that they've had legislatures that range usually between 39 and 50% women. And that their tickets of their parties have always been balanced by gender for now since the mid-80s. And they don't even need a law to do that. They actually, in Sweden, they haven't had a law to do it. They do it because it's the way they want to be. They call them zipper tickets with a Z. In Africa, they adopted them. There, they also call them zebra tickets with a Z. So, no, we are the Z generations. We have Z Budapest running around teaching us about goddesses. And we have other women like Naomi Goldenberg and many others who have been teaching us about goddesses. And we have many people like Ellen Johnson and Timothy Freak and Robert Prescott, who you heard from, James Prescott, who you heard from 2 days ago, who are preaching the need for parity in all the worship life as well as in the decision-making life. And we have men of Irish heritage, like, I'm forgetting his first name, Hannon, who wrote a book called The World's Oldest Prejudice. Now, what you are all suffering from is the world's oldest prejudice. You all have it. The women are afraid. It's socialized fear. The women live in fear, and they're also afraid of each other. They're afraid of rejection from each other. They're afraid of being hurt. They're afraid of being made fun of. They're afraid of not being followed when they lead. You know, that's been happening to me. I lead, nobody follows. No problem. I don't care. You know why? Because God is following what I'm doing. But God is also following what you're doing and what you're not doing. And God may begin to give you some of the things that you saw that were discussed in the plagues of the old time in extreme enormity. And you could also have something like what happened with Atlantis when it became patriarchal, the eruption of Mount Thera. You could also have a world-destroying event. When Thera erupted, much of the world was plunged into winter. Thera blanketed the skies with dark. It was the hugest eruption known that occurred that brought about the end of Atlantis. And I believe that reason it occurred was that after all these generations of understanding the Eleusinian mysteries, they somehow flirted with a technological flirtation. Some of them got attracted to it, and they broke down their own society. They dissipated the egalitarianism of it. It became more hierarchical, and then it destroyed itself. It was destroyed by Thera's eruption. You have an extremely over-hierarchical society in our world right now. Our CEOs, some of them own literally in the bank trillions of dollars, while there are also people on this planet who cannot have enough food to have a day's meal and are dying of starvation. That is an insane hierarchy, and that is happening to them while the nuclear weapons stockpiles are filled. And also while we're using oil instead of solar, the most abundant source of energy, with absolutely no cost once you do install the solar panels. Our family, the Margulies family, is a crystallographer family. That was the technology of the male in the family. The female preached the theory that everything on Earth is connected. The internet does connect potentially everyone on Earth. It's made of crystals. The solar panel puts us in a situation in which we are all connected under one completely free, loving, beneficent smile called our nearest star, the sun. We are star stuff ourselves. We are photosynthesis in a different form. We eat vegetables that grow out of flowers. We are flowers. We are flowers. We are the marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers. That's us. We have a little bit more organized development in the way that we think and walk around and move around, but we're essentially related to the flowers. We are related to one another as flowers. So now I'm going to do our Eucharisteural ceremony. And you can hear it again. It's on 2345 of the phone tree that I give you the number 4. All of our gens, all of our branches are represented by me. I connect to them all. I connect to them all through inheritance and through love. I love you all. God loves you all. But you're afraid to respect me because you've been told that you have to respect an old man first, or a man first, or a woman who acts like a man and commands big armies. But you do not need to, because you have something bigger than all the armies in the world, called the nearest star, your sun. It has much more power than all of the nuclear bombs arrayed, up to the sun. It has more power than that. You are daughters and sons of the sun. You are Auroras and Apollos. You are Venuses and Marsyuses. What is the Venus? A reference to the morning star, which was often the reference also to a Messiah. And so is the Marsyus. The Mars is the same concept as later on we hear in terms of more later Western religions talking about a Christ. The word Christ is Greek for anointed. What does anointed mean? It means you have the potential to become immortal. It means that you have the power of love power that will de-stressify your world and make everybody happy. And then you will be as goddesses and gods. That is your power. And you have that power right now. And you don't have to go to a voting booth. You don't have to pay a tax. You don't have to do anything. Just put some solar powers on your roof, turn on your computer, and assist a few other intelligent people that are trying to put computers in the hands of a lot of other people. Once you've done that enough, you will be able to command the shift that can occur, that will make this world and all the worlds that we will then be honored to be in contact with, heavens on earth. And with regard to the old men, the old generals and the old warlords and the old corporate guys, okay? What do we have to tell them? We ask them to watch Star Trek. We ask them to look at Jean-Luc Picard. We ask them to look at the Q, who judges humanity at the encounter at Farpoint, but he has the power by snapping his fingers of space-time travel. But he is totally nonviolent. The Q does not have weapons. And we ask him to look at Chakotay, who is happy to be on a par and not above and even slightly below Captain Janeway in the hierarchy such that it is needed. Not much would be needed with what we're recommending. And we ask them to look at all the advanced civilizations. Savek, the father of Spock. And Spock was a name very carefully chosen because the Spock baby book was a way of telling the world to understand the importance of the baby. Now, you saw that in the film 2001, Stanley Kubrick's film, with the baby and the picture of the globe. We are saying that it is important. You heard James Prescott say that gender parity is important, and also equally important is the full on-cue breastfeeding of every baby, holy baby girl and holy baby boy. We are saying that that breast milk is the ultimate elixir of the goddesses and gods. Some of you have received that breast milk abundantly, some of you have not. Some of you feel that you are hungry inside, or angry inside, or fearful inside. But now we have ways, through therapies of many, many modality, to heal those feelings, including family constellation therapies, and especially gathering of the circle process, which is now in use by billions of people, hundreds of millions, if not billions. And so we have the methods to heal those feelings with a great deal of support and encouragement and a little bit of catharsis, and then re-nurturing people who did not get the nurturing that they needed as babies. We could start out our next generations having all over the world balance of love and work, especially because once you eliminate solar power, once you eliminate oil and nuclear and coal and the expensive and polluting forms of energy and you use solar power, you have no cost. There's nothing to pay bills for. All of your supermarkets will be solar powered. All of your gas stations will be solar powered. You won't be using gas anymore. There's no cost. There's nothing to pay for. That makes everybody very wealthy very quickly. Wealthy in quality of life, not in money they need in the bank. They don't need money in the bank. They have quality of life eternally, sustainably. And let me tell you, if the film that one of our Shekina's hubbies wrote, and the book that it was based on is correct, that Anna Marie has read all his books, and if this is correct, then there is somebody else listening right now. There's somebody listening to this broadcast. Now, I know God is listening to this broadcast, but it's possible that somewhere else in the universe, a planet is listening to this broadcast with a receiver like Ellie had in contact. And they're receiving it. Now, they're noticing that you're not coming. So they may decide, this planet doesn't make it. We don't want to visit them and give us the gifts, visit them that we have to give them to save them. You might say we are a sinking Titanic as a planet, and another planet might be our lifeboat. But you're not showing them the desire that the people on the Titanic had to get in the lifeboats. You're just sitting there and going down and sinking by not coming. So now, once again, this doesn't harm anybody. But what I see is a lot of people emotionally shut down as soon as you say the word parity. Why is that? Because the wrong process developed in the media and created a obstruction in the thought process of people. It literally mind programmed them, a little bit similar to, if you ever saw a very frightening film, The Manchurian Candidates. Mind programming, where someone was programmed to turn against the people that they loved. Mind programming is normally not that powerful, and I don't think it is that powerful. You have the power of turning off the television. But if your mothers have very, very low self-esteem and are also simultaneously trying to imitate men, then you, the next generation of children, is being given a very strange message. That the mothers don't trust each other, and they don't trust other women, but they're trying to act like men. And that they're willing to follow older men and let older men continue to rule them in corporations, which are using oil and nuclear and coal, and willing to pay taxes that go to the armies that protect the oil and the coal and the gas lines, because that's what the armies are doing. The reason we invaded Afghanistan was because it's on a natural gas route. But we don't need it. We have the sun. Same issues with Iraq and all those other countries. A lot of oil there. But we don't need them. We have the sun. So you see that by following your papas and ignoring one another, you put yourself in a totally ludicrous position, as well as profoundly now dangerous toward extinction. There was no reason at any time for global warming. People were advocating solar power in the late 1970s. But why did that not occur? Because there were less, and there remain less, than 20% women in the government of the most powerful society on earth. Now, we're changing that by virtue of the New Millennial Golden Rule. Your government is in your local area. Your local area can easily be connected by the internet to the entire world. Pick a few other communities in different continents, connect with them, share your progress under the New Millennial Golden Rule, the 11 steps. In other words, become a transition town and just simply do it. Just do it. And you would have all the powers. And guess what? Those people on that other planet who are listening say, they got it. little light bulb went off in their heads. They got the thing here. Stop running after old men and old women who are imitating old men as tokens. And let me tell you, those old men have absolutely no intention of allowing a woman to rule over them. They try to bring them down if they allow them. They're only allowed to rule if they go along with old men. Look at Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher was allowed to become prime minister, yes. But guess what? Who really controlled her? British Petroleum and the Saudi Arabian sheiks. And they also controlled Queen Elizabeth. Because they're tokens. I'm not talking about tokenism, and I'm not putting those people down. I love all people. I love Margaret Thatcher. I love Queen Elizabeth. It's fine. But we want to give them eternal life too. And the system that they're engaged in is not using the insights of anthropology. You can, and you don't have to wait for their permission to do so. So now I'm going to do the ceremony and say all the gens of our family. I said a lot of the individual names in the ceremony yesterday, and you can hear it on the 2345, 2345. I may be running a little bit too late. I got a little later start today, so I'll probably just do the gens of the families and make it quick. But I'm going to say the Shekinah, and then the names, and then the young Shekinahs and the young Shekinahs, and then the gens' names. So you know you're included. You're included. You have to think in terms of making a circle. What is different about a circle and a square or a triangle? A circle doesn't have any cul-de-sac. You can't get stuck in a corner in a circle. You can't be put in a closet in a circle. People will notice if you're not there. And the flow that occurs in a circle is a different flow that occurs in a different kind of geometrical figure. A pyramid is a hierarchy. It is a triangle. It has one person at the top, or one it has a point at the top. A circle has points all around. You are gem points all around. Now, to some extent, there may be moments where you want to insert a triangle or a square within the circle, when for a moment or two, for a specific purpose, you will say, oh, this person has expertise in this way. This person has expertise in that way. And you let them step forward, kind of like if you're you're thinking about folk dancing. Every so often, a couple will break off from the circle and go into the middle of the circle, or even in one individual, and do a dance. That the rest of the people keep circling around them, and they do the dance. And then they go back to the circle. Well, you'll be able to do that. And you'll be able to take the greatest gifts that each one of you has to give, and get into the center of the circle, and give your gifts, and then go back to the circle, and someone else will go into the center of the circle and give their gifts, and go back to the circle. You see how that works? And that's what the New Millennial Golden Rule gives you the ability to do. Now, these are ancient wisdoms. They come out of Hinduism. They come out of Indigenous Native American. They come out of ancient Middle East before it became patriarchal. Did you know that in Saudi Arabia, there is a goddess by the name of Allat, A-L-L-A-T. Why they don't remember her now is a statement about how this world fell from its paradise, which was more egalitarian and included the goddess worship, and then became preoccupied with only a male. It doesn't work, and you can see the results in the Middle East right now. It's constantly war-ridden, fratricide after fratricide after fratricide. And the women, what are they doing to each other? They're generally mutilating each other. Their self-esteem is so low that they're generally mutilating their own nieces and their own great-grand cousinas with the permission of the mothers, even though the mothers don't like to watch it. Because it was done to them. And it passes it on in a transmission process that is not evolved, that is regressive and harmful and results in the fratricide that comes later. And then they all kill each other off. They have terrible coups, lots of coups and terrible forms of, and you know what we also know? That region of the world was once very fertile, not a desert, just filled with oil. And we believe that that is happening to the United States now. We have desertification going on in the United States because we're using the wrong energy forms, and therefore we are turning our verdant land into a desert. You can stop this very easily. Just use the New Millennial Golden Rule and you got it. Okay? The 11 steps and the solar kitty kits that you've already got, the time travel kits. So that's what we're doing here at this ceremony. I'm going to do the ceremony now. I'm going to say the gens of the family. Know that you are holy, but that by not coming for so long, you have really endangered yourselves and many other people. And some of your children are now all endangered. A lot of the kids on this list are endangered. And they're all gems, and it's horrible, and I'm really angry at the older women, and yet I have great pity for them because they've been so seduced by the media, and some of these errors were mine too. They were interactive. I lost contact with very important women in my family at wrong stages of my life because I was too busy trying to get married, and I didn't understand the bonobo stage, or in other words, what I like to call the betazoid stage, where the women need to put each other in priority. So we need that. We need you ladies to put each other in priority. We need to hear you make the 3-way calls with me and then get on the conference line. If you don't do that, all I can say is that at some level something has clicked off in you and you are not pursuing a path of kindness or light or love or life. If that has happened, go to the mirror, get a big glass of water and dump it over your head. Because this world is very much yet here and very savable. It has not sunk yet. Your children are precious and have not gotten into the worst trouble yet. If they do, you call me. Any one of you and all of you. Because I love all your children. I'm the big clan mother here. And I have one who I raised as a child. I know his preciousness, and I also know from looking at all of your children how precious they are. But I also know how precious you ladies are. And that's the piece that's so hard for you to understand. You really are goddesses. You are better than Captain Janeway, Deanna Troi, Loxana Troi, B'Elanna Torres, you know, think of all the science fiction, Oma Desala on Stargate. The medical doctor on Stargate, the girl who jumps in and out of the Stargate, I forget her name, Alexander or whatever, Amanda. You're better than all that. You're going to be better than all of that. You're going to be Equinox True Q's, eternal life. You're going to be better than Alien Contact. And you'll have Joss in you too. You'll have the spirituality part because he didn't understand the goddess part, did he? But you will, and you'll be it, and that will lighten up the whole world because that's what we've been missing since the fall of Atlantis. So now I'm going to do the ceremony. And by the way, I have a larger cake for the younger generations now. It's about the same size as their Shekinah, and the Shekinah cake is golden because I consider us to be of the golden autumnal time. And the young Shekinah and Shekinah cake is white, adorned with pink, or colorful rose and green, and the Shekinah, older Shekinah cake also has a little bit of green, not quite as much, a little bit more pink, and they're all adorned with world globes. Okay, now you all deserve something better than what you're accepting, and I hope you all listen to these tapes and get what I'm trying to get to you to understand. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us, and we are marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers. And also, I want to say, in my family, music played a role. And I am, tonight, I'm going to make some attempts to play versions of some pieces that my family played. One is called La Comparsita, which our great-grandmother Harriet played. One is a Claire de Lune, a two-hour Claire de Lune and Malagueña, which my sister Julia Marie plays. And one is the Violin Concerto in D, which I know my nephew shall play. I've also played some harp music for you. You've heard that in the opening sequences of the musical medley, and other forms of music and singing. We are a heavenly orchestra. We are a heavenly choir. I believe that Vanessa and Hadass and the younger women here are the harps. They're bringing an angelic quality into this mix. And the young men, they're the happier fiddlers on the roof. They also play the pan flute. That's connected with Marsyas, another instrument associated with nature, with the love of nature. And I'm going to make sure that, now we do play that in the musical medley, you hear that. And you do hear some violins, because the concerto, the violin concerto I'm going to play is Tchaikovsky, and you hear the waltz of the flowers in the musical medley. Tchaikovsky was a gift that our great-grandfather gave to us. Gave it to me. When I was 5 years old, I was given by him the Nutcracker Suite and the Violin Concerto in D. The men of our family did not just play football and drop bombs. They were men of democracy and peace culture. Let our women find their goddesshood so that we can open the stargates not only for our women, but for our men. And let their children and great-grandchildren know the glory of Atlantis risen, of Israel finding the promised land instead of wandering in a new desert, a desertified America. And dying in that desert, a desert of kindness, a desert of lack of connection. You're too precious for me not to love you, but you're so well accepted, I can't even believe it. So let me continue the ceremony. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers in water. Hugs and love to all, both and each and everyone, as soon as possible. And by the way, we're going to do the ceremony again on our mother's birthday, which is May 6th, and on Mother's Day, which is May 8th. And we're going to connect it with Purim and Passover and Earth Day and Information Day and Earth Day and Passover Day and also all of the holy days that come also in the autumnal and winter times that will turn to spring, the Sacred Grounds Day, the Valentine's Day, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, of all the traditions and all the heritages, the Lanterns Day of the ancient Chinese, the New Year's Day of their culture, all of the many days of the Native Americans, all the many days of Holi of the Hindus, and the Sisterhood and Brotherhood Day. All of these holidays are all ours. And when I am celebrating this day, which is a combination of Astra and Easter, it's the Greek Orthodox Holy Easter Day, and we are connecting back to a Greek area, the Mediterranean, which interfaced with ancient Israel. We are also connecting it with the entire world and beyond our worlds. Imagine, like that line from Contact, is there anybody else out there? Probably. If not, it would be a terrible waste of space. There is somebody listening, and they are out there, and they have cultural holidays too. Would you like to have some more holidays? Lift you up even further in your ascension, in your genius. Don't die here in your own waste and stupidity, loaded with pharmaceuticals and oil and coal and nuclear waste. You have this the star stuff within you, and the harmony with nature in you. So let me continue the ceremony. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both in each and every one, as soon as possible. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both in each and every one, as soon as possible. And we'll say Namaste, and Mitakuye Oyasin, Mitakuye Kose Reall, Kongs Om Pax. That's from the Eleusinian Mysteries, or we have morphed it Ko, which means cooperate, colleague, connected. Ko, Am, or Am, either one. Am is the ancient Buddhist and Hindu sound for the presence, ever presence, everywhere of the Goddess Godhead. The entire Goddess God process, which is always there, and they say, but it is also in the Western tradition, I am, Ko, I am Ko. And Pax, which means peace, and also has the X in it to remind us that not only females but males have an X chromosome, and it is the risen feminine aspect that our society most needs right now in order to help the men not kill each other off. And we say, and not kill the female off, and not kill everybody off. And we say, and we don't need women to imitate men, just the opposite. And I'm not talking about men becoming homosexual necessarily, although I think there's room in a society for people who have homosexual inclination, but I don't think it is the majority way of humanity. And I think that the reason it's occurring at a faster rate perhaps than used to is because so many people are finding that patriarchal heterosexuality is too stressful, and therefore they're looking for egalitarian heterosexuality, but our society is not providing it because of the lack of family and love balance. So that is why we have to understand this is about egalitarian balance of yin and yang, and that includes very much protections for the heterosexuals to have a harmonious life, generation upon generation. And so now, and so we'll also say tu best, and lyrics and lyric tu best, and we'll say merci. Many of our names are French. My family branch is French. Merci, which means thank you, and also means gratitude, and also means mercy. Show some mercy to one another. Talk to each other. Show some mercy to yourselves. Your isolation has got to be like a jail. And merci, and ciao, and schlandevag, other European languages, and we'll also say Ubuntu, and buenos dias, which is also a European, Spanish, Hispanic, but very major in our civilization, because we have so many Native American and South American Native Americans and a Spanish mixture in our cultures. And we have Chinque, which Lee has taught us, means a great meeting. Where are you? Let's have the great meeting. And Lee is very actively working on some of this, I know, and I'm going to be going over to her home very soon. And she here, and you'll be hearing her from her and Shuan again. And we prayed together at the Kuan Yin statue at the temple that's a block from my home. And also Sayonara, and Dasvidanya, and Mir, Pache. Oh, and I neglected to say right at the beginning, for our family, very important, and remembering the Unitarian Universalists, who with the mother-son combination there, another holy Madonna and son, Isabella and Sigismund, created an island of peace when the rest of Europe was having civil war over every kind of religious doctrine. And in the Edict of Szhorter, and also Timesz, Szedlerek Tübeszk, the Romanian Hungarian, and also we've already said Namaste, you know, the Hindu and the Buddhist, and also I'm probably forgetting some, but we'll also say good day and cheerio. Remember, Yastra is the name of a goddess of the Celtic people. Yastra, Easter. She is the goddess of Easter. This is an Easter day. So we're connecting the female and the male goddesses and gods of Estrus and Estrus. Purim, Passover. Purim, Information Day, Earth Day, Earth's Day, Passover Day. Let's pass over into a kinder culture now, and Estrus and Estrus, and also Mother's Day, because we need the Divine Mother in order to do this. So we yet have some more traversing to go of our circle to make there, and all of your birthdays and all of your conception days, all of your name days. The Europeans regard name days as more important than the individual birthdays. And most names have both female and male versions of them, so you have kind of a sisterhood and brotherhood there. And so, you know, we have the ability to do this, and we're including you all of the family and all the community. And if I've left any of the languages out, include them. And let me just say, love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper everyone and all. And not just a few, but everyone, so that everyone really prospers better. And that's what a circle does for you. And we'll say that this again. Love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper everyone and all. And now our milk. Our milk is in a round glass with the world continents etched on it. We drink the milk of human kindness for all, both and each and every one, especially highlighting the importance of 2 to 3 years breastfeeding on cue for every holy baby girl and every holy baby boy, past, present, future. Those who didn't get it can be healed. When you're not putting all your money into weaponry and nuclear bombs and cleaning up after oil spills and stuff, you have lots of money for great therapy, and everybody can get healed. And also they have a lot more time because they're not pushing papers for nonsensical reasons, and then their sun is doing all the work for them, the nearest star is doing all the work for them, so they have lots of time to get healed. If anything was missing in your earlier life, your childhood experience, you'll talk about it in the circle. You'll get healing, cry a little bit, get some good healing. Our friend Lynn, who you've heard from, Lynn Mystic Healer, is organizing her armies of light workers all over the world. Light workers, and they have a million modalities of healing, and they're all excellent. Laying on of hands, rapid eye desensitization, and of course family therapy, family constellation therapy. So we have it. It's just that our culture is not giving it to you. And also the milk of human kindness throughout all our various ages and stages of life. If you're 82, if you're 37, if you're 15, if you're 42, if you're 67, if you're 68, whatever you are, we have the milk of human kindness for you. But if you don't have any toward anybody else, we don't know what to do with you. You have to develop that ability again. Your culture has whacked it out of you. Get it back. And so we drink on behalf of all, both and each and every one, and we represent. I represent, and we represent, because God is with me and loving you all. We represent all, both and each and every one, past, present, future, as Equinox True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Savior Roz. But I want to warn you, you've gone for a long time without representing yourself. By doing that, you have endangered yourselves. You could have been in part of the ceremony already, given it as a co-hostess and co-host already, and you have been failing because your hostesses have been missing. Older women, you are at fault. The older men are not to blame entirely for your low self-esteem. Some of this is some of what you're doing to each other and to yourselves. You have to wake up. Your kids have to put the milk in front of you and push you to call on these conference calls. And if they don't, they're going to suffer, and you're going to watch what you've done to them. And you're not going to be happy with yourselves. So don't do that to yourselves, and don't do that to them. Either generation can't play this role anymore. All the Shekinahs and all the young Shekinahs and Hekinahs have to work together to understand what I'm doing and to join in as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sefiras. So we drink for all, both, and each, and representing all, both, and each as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sefiras, Equinox, True Qs, past, present, future. And will drink the water of loving, living, enlightened by the new millennial golden rule planets that will regain and sustain our planet Earth and all our planets to be past, present, future as Equinox, True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sefiras. Now, I told you we would have a larger birthday cake for our younger generation now, and we do. And it's white to symbolize the purity that they deserve of a new start. But we are not at all negating the size and the incredible importance of our Shekinahs. These goddesses are golden. They are the goddesses of the golden rule, of the new millennial golden rule. Nothing can happen without them. They are essential. They are the Ceres. They are the Ashera. They are the Sibels. They are the Iulis. They are the Mariams. They are Maris. They are goddesses. Goddesses, ladies, you're goddesses. You're better than Captain Janeway. You're better than Diana and Laxana Troy. You're better than Omadisala. You are so chosen, and you're ignoring each other. Do you know what a vacuum you are creating where there should be the greatest light? Stop that, ladies! You are here. You are marvelous and miraculous. And here is our younger generation symbolized also on a pure white cake with the rose and rosy pink and green, and both cakes have the world globes on them. And we say we'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days together, past, present, future, as Equinox, True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sefiras, starting with our spring and golden autumnal spring dates of all of these birth, conception, name, and holy days together, and then all of the rest of the circle of the family of the times of the year, and then also and then starting with our Shekinahs and our young Shekinahs and Hekinahs, past, present, future. I'm celebrating you. You are so precious to me, and I don't know why you're not more precious to yourself and each other. Now I'm very, very worried about you. All of you, stop endangering one another and yourselves. And I'll say it again. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days together, past, present, future, as Equinox, True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sefiras. Now, before I show the pictures, I realize I didn't bring something into the room. Bear with me for just one moment. I'll put up the place that we are at. Imagine yourself at this Eleusinian Mystery Gathering. Okay, the mixture of the gathering of the goddesses in a circle at a round table, and also the last summer supper become the first breakfast, lunch, dinner, any time of the day meal. Always a good meal, and the running around in the Elysian fields together. There we are. We're all there. And also look at, well, I'm getting to get something else. Go back and look at the home that was the Hat Crown Center. This is so important to remember our actual place in the heartland of the world, Chicago. Chicago, with all its ethnic neighborhoods and all of its brilliant people, including Lynn, who met Carl at the University of Chicago, but now especially including our great-grandmothers who gathered women. What a genius, and they didn't even know what a genius they had. I'll be right back, because I have some other elements of the ceremony that need to be included. Okay, now I want to show these eggs. These eggs, egalitarian, here are the eggs, pure, marvelous. The hen gives the egg. Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? The hen or the egg? They're both necessary. You both need the Shekinahs and the young Shekinahs and the Hekinahs. And I also need to bring the other, I gave the two of the drinks, I forgot to bring two of the other drinks. Let me come back, because this is a special ceremony, not our typical ceremony. I almost forgot. Okay, I forgot to also drink this drink again on a world globe class of all the fruits of the earth, the fruit juices, the sweetness of the fruits of the earth. And also this glass at this time, a celebration often of traditionally using wine, of grapes, to celebrate that we are all sacred. We are all sacred children, all of us. All our blood should not be spilt. No one's blood should be spilt. We should be dancing in joy with one another. You know, I have a friend, I was telling you, Lynn Mistakeeler, who feels that transubstantiation ceremony that we use that celebrates the blood of someone who has fallen as a wine, we don't want to drink anybody's blood. The blood is holy when we are alive, and it is our loving one another that keeps us all alive. And then we can have eternal life without death. No crucifixions. Stop crucifying the female, and you'll stop crucifying younger people. You'll stop crucifying older people. You'll stop crucifying anyone. We can all have eternal life. So I drink both of these on behalf of all, both and each and every one, and representing all, both and each and every one as Equinox QQ's Co-Secretary General's Co-Save Your Odds. And let me tell you, you don't want to drink pharmaceuticals. Stay away from them. We all got used to that and thought it was a big step forward. I got news for you. They all have more side effects than anything else, and they are all substitutes for what should have been attention to relational issues and societal pressures on people that cause almost 99% of any disease. And here's our consciousness currencies, our great-grandmothers, our current Shekinahs, and our young Shekinahs and Shekinahs with the current Shekinahs, all valued in the trillions and zillions, and you are beyond that. And here is our gens. Here is our family branching family tree. Now, who is on here? Margolian, the marigolds, the golds of Mary. We are the golds of Mary, and we are all year long. It doesn't stop after March or in the Marian months. It goes on. We remain. But if we don't celebrate each other in the Marian, that is March, April, and the May and the Ma months, Ma-ya, Ma, May, Ya, Ya, Ma-ya, you're Ma-yas. Ya-yas, right? Ya means the eternal one. Ma-ya. Ma. May. Maya. We're all connecting with this. We got into a Yuli too. June also is of Yuli. But the earliest part of spring is the spring of purity and most bursting forth of blooming, budding and blooming, of budding and blooming. And so, and we would like to have you get that as early as possible. So we are doing this ceremony now. And that's why so many holy days focus on April and May, March, April, and May because of this. But there are some in June. Let's face it, there are some. There's some in July. But and we want eternal spring. But we can't neglect these months, or we won't get the eternal spring at all. So here's our gens, our great-grandmothers, our current Shekinahs, and these are representing all of you. All of your faces are not here, but all of you are in the circle that you saw already and implied, including Anne Marie and Ma Patricia and me and Chuan. Lots of other people have come to contact with you, Lynn and Ivanka some year times ago, and I think you met Sharon and other people over the years. And of course, you've all met each other at various times, and unfortunately, one or two of you have been ignoring each other, and that has set all of the rest of you back. A few of you reached out to each other, and the other ones didn't do anything, and the one you reached out to negated you, so you ran away like little mice, and you ran and hid, and nobody tries anymore. Come on, ladies. You teach boys, there are boys in the military being taught to go against any kind of barrier with enormous force. You can't handle one telephone shutdown? Come on! Wake up. You're not that hot house flowers. Keep at each other. Keep trying. You'll eventually break down the barrier. And of course, here are our egalitarian youth. We have represented here a clear Esther. Her name is Sztate. A clear mother-daughter, Soma. A clear risen person. Her name is Stacy Anastasia. It means resurrection. A clear morning star, Venus, Vanessa. A clear risen person, Ross. A clear honor of love, Louis Laviz. Harland, Louis Laviz. These children are great. Now here in the Shekinah generation, we have my sister and I. Healing that breach, ladies, should be everybody's. If we can heal the breach between Julianne Marie and I, the world will be healed. If not, the world will die. You know, I mean, it's really simple. And it's not just her and I. There's other sisters in this family, too, who are also breached and who are represented here. I know of them. They live in the same city, and they don't talk to each other. That's wrong. And they don't talk to sisters and cousines who live in the same city. We've got some there in Philadelphia who used to and don't so much anymore. We've got some in New York who used to and don't so much anymore. We've got some in Chicago who used to and don't so much anymore. All of the don't so much anymore is killing our planet. Okay, and we've got Barbara, we've got Meredith, we've got what we got here, and of course we've got Marion. Now, Marion and Julia Marie, are you really trying to destroy your children? What are you doing? What are you doing, ladies? And Georgine, we've got the neighbors represented. My neighbor came over yesterday to give me food. Her name is Judy. She came over and gave me food, but she has not always understood what I've been trying to give her in food for thought. But she's enough of a neighbor to come over and give me food because she wanted to. She had some extras. She didn't know what to do with it. She gave it to me. Why are Julia, Marie, and Georgine not doing that? Why are all of you and your neighbors not doing that? I do it for them. They do it for me. Why are you not doing that? Do that. Teach that to your children. So I did these kisses. Oh, and let me say the names of all the gens before I move on to the next. The names of the gens. The Margulian, the Silver Goldian, Kendian, because the silver becomes gold when it chooses gender parity. The Zal Kendian, what does Zal mean? Zal means wisdom. It also means to count someone. Women have not been counted. Gender progress indicator. You're going to count the women. You're also going to count a goodly much of what the men do that hasn't been counted either. Count, and count the children in their glowing, growing, learning stage. So beginning at the beginning of life. Count the babies. Count. Zal. Count them. And the Feldmarian. The Feldmarian, a field of Marys. A field that's Marian of Maries and Marziuses. A field. A whole field. The Elysian fields. And also we include the Goldenbergians. You've heard from them. We've included the Hearsts and the Herzogs and the Pearl women and the Sunshinian and the Spraguean and you name them, we've got them in here. They're all here. They're all here, and they all have one name, one family. That is the middle name of everybody, because we all are one family. So you all have the same name. You all, every day is a name day. You can celebrate every day with one another. Greet each other as Sister Cousina and Sister and Cousin Brother. Everyone on this planet is no more than 50th Cousina and cousin from everyone else. You, with our connectedness, we are probably between 1st and 11th Cousinas and cousins. Even. And your neighbors also likely where you live are the same. First between maybe 11th or maybe 15th or something. All great, close connections. Very recent common ancestry. You have so much in common, and you don't recognize how precious you are. What do you think happened in the 1940s? Do you know how many of your family got decimated? Both by Hitler and Stalin? Do you know how many people, Native Americans, got decimated by our coming here? Do we not restore the souls of people? Do we believe in resurrection or not? I do. We have that power. We'll open the stargates and they'll all come back right out of the Akashic record. They'll become risen. They're waiting for you to pick parity instead of patriarchy. And here's my very special branches. I worry about them all the time. I'm very bonded to them and very separated from them. I love them all. They're going to hear some music from me over the next few days. And let me say, I almost forgot to say, I'll say it now, Victoria's branch. I don't know the surname, so let's give the surname as Magdalene. Okay? Let's give that surname, Magdalene. Or let's also give it another surname. What's the word I'm looking for from the Greek? Magdalethea. Magdalethea. Okay? We'll connect the Greek, the Atlantis, with the ancient Israel as a tower of strength and love. Do you want losing towers or Winston towers? Leaszt or Winston? So let me do this again. We'll do this. So you have a choice becoming Winstonian or Leastonian. You can either become golden rain trean and sunshine trean, or you can become plutonium. What do you prefer? Which do you prefer to choose? And now, so we've done that, and I also want to show you the various grains, and the kitties are coming in and out. Okay, babies, I'm coming to you in a minute. And we have our, before we show our traditional matzah, we're going to show you the oats and the rice. And of course, we do show the traditional matzah. People go through a lot when they're rushing around, and they do the best they can, like I am right now. It's not fully risen, but it is something. It's a blessing. But we want you to become fully risen with these breads. I told you I would have, I don't have a square one. I have better than a square one. I have the oval of challah. And all yakala. You're all yayas, okay? And we have the round one of the Atlantis and the world. You put the two together. You put a more rounded male with a fully round female, with mutual self-respect. And all of those hard-off, squared-off edges begin to get out of your way. And you have the flowing of human genius, and you're risen, and your equinox true cues. And you make a lot of great food organically. And so we've shown you that, and we've shown you the cakes, and we did all the pictures, and now we do the fruits. Now, really, this is more symbolic usually at the autumnal time, but they're growing now. You're getting them at the stores. They're all over the world, and in the southern hemisphere, it is autumn. So you are also the fruits. You're the fruits of the flowers and the seeds, and you're the golden rainbow, and you're the white also rainbow. You're both the golden rule and the whiteness of purity of a new, start the world anew, choosing parity, not patriarchy, and saying goodbye to patriarchal planeticide, choosing parity, paradise on all our planets, past, present, future, as equinox true cues, Co-Secretary General Szhorter. So happy EARTHSZ and SZTARRISZE every day, and we have yet to include the Divine Feminine of Mother's Day coming up, so we're not quite complete on this journey, but let's make sure we don't lose our direction. And because we're going to get there, and I'm going to make sure you're there, okay? I'm holding you up, even if you don't know what you're doing. But I'm holding you up. But God needs for you to hold each other up, too. And I'll say, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious in the circle. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages, of all the languages. Let me say that again. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and our earth, past, present, future, as equinox, true Qs, co-secretary generals, co-saviorahs. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and our earth, past, present, future, as equinox, true Qs, co-secretary generals, co-saviorahs. So let me say again, I want to show this again. And did I say, I think I did say all the branches. If I forgot any branches of your family names, you include yourself. I'm including all the great and grandmothers, all their names, all of the Shekinah's names, all of the young Shekinahs and all the young Hekinahs. And I'm going to make a few individual calls right now of people that we didn't get in the morning, the earlier part of the ceremony today. We have a large family, really. I really, if I get your assistance, we can do this ceremony over a multiple hour time and gather properly as a true family reunion with all of our branches. We have called almost all the great and grandmothers and all the Shekinah and all of the young Shekinahs and young Hekinahs branches in one way or another today. And you are represented by me, but you are not representing yourself, and that is working against you with Mother, Father, Goddess, God. I tell you it is. And working against you drastically. No. So be very, very careful. Because after today, I cannot guarantee your safety anymore. And you're on the wrong road. You're very much on the wrong road, and I've been very, very patient with you, and I don't have any magic. I can't force you to do something against your will. If you are tipping toward Thanatopia instead of toward Eros, if you're tipping toward plutonium instead of Ceres, that's where you wind up. Don't do that. Don't crucify each other. Don't crucify yourselves. Don't crucify your children, because as soon as your children are crucified, you will be crucified. By the Mother, Father, Goddess, God. The planet will be crucified. By the Mother, Father, Goddess, God. The planet will be taken. And Goddess God will start with a new workshop. Say, where did I go wrong with these people? I know where I went wrong. I practiced patriarchy for too long in my life without realizing. I put the cart before the horse. I tried to get marriage prior to the bonobo stage. I didn't know enough about the bonobo stage, so I didn't know I was making the error. I hurt people by the error. I feel extremely ridden with sadness about it. But now I know I've done my best to explain it to you. You should be able to choose what I'm giving you. Choose the new millennial golden rule. Choose parity, not patriarchy. I'm going to make some phone calls real quick. And I'm going to send this as a message on the phone tree. I'm going to send this as a message on the phone tree now.
Please enter your message followed by 1. Your input is invalid. Your greeting has been saved. To change extension type,
ignore that input is invalid. That's just from another line there. Okay, so the input is valid. The input is valid enough. Okay. Now we're just going to make some quick phone calls. Jennifer and all of your Shekinah, your mother remembered, Lynn, and also your aunts, Joan and Sharon and Diane, and also your children, very much Hesperus and Athena and Etani. Look at the video on the YouTube and the Google's Plus of the ceremony today.
2 to erase and re-record. Press 3 to continue recording where you left off. Press 4 to send your message. You have pressed an incorrect key. To send your message with normal delivery, press 1. Thank you. Your message has been sent.
Okay, we connected with her. And Mary and all of your Shekinah there, and we also include, of course, Ross. We started with the Shekinahs and our young Shekinahs and Hekinahs. We did a special ceremony today. It is available on the Google Plus and on the YouTube for our entire Margolian, Silver Goldian, Zalkindian, Feldmarian, and all the intertwined names of various surnames, including all of your Shekinahs, all of them, and your young people, females and males, age 37 and younger. First go first. This is the Holy Day break fast from patriarchy into parity culture. We are saving the world this way as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Saviors, Equinox 2Qs. You and your sisters, Kazinas and Kazina and Ross and all the other young sister Kazinas of his, Hadass, Stacy Anastasia, and all the younger, and many, many more, and also the younger Shekinahs and Hekinahs, Vanessa and Hadassah, Vanessa and Harlan Lizviz, and Hadass and Yishai, and all these others are included, and you can watch the video and call to get more information about it. You know my number by now, 301. I think it took the message. It took the message, just simply took it. Okay. Okay, and now we have some other people to call on our phone tree.
after the tone. Press pound when finished.
Here, dearest Georgine and Julianne Marie, Julianne Marie and Georgine, Julianne Marie, very especially my very special sister. Honeys, here is the milk. Here is the heart light with the pictures on it. And here is the Marvelous Miraculous Budding Blooming Flowers. That you are, both of you also, as well as Vanessa and Harlan Elizabeth, and all these other young, all the other Shekinahs. Let me start with that. All your other Shekinahs, whose names we mentioned along with yours, and all the young peoples, all the young Shekinahs and Shekinahs, including Vanessa and Harlan Elizabeth. And here is the cakes. Here are the cakes with all the world glows on them. And we see we have a larger cake for our younger people. Now they're getting a little bit older. They need a larger cake. So but they're both equally important. And now listen to 3521. We did the huge ceremony again today. We did it mainly by the names of surnames or gens. That's what the ancient Atlantean or Greco-Roman civilization called gens. Because we didn't want to, we were kind of rushing, but we include all your names and also listen to 2345, which also has all the names. We did make contact with our more Kurgan family, and we are going to continue that, but it won't do any good unless you both do. It won't do much good, and you're all going to wind up in a disaster there, so don't do that. And listen to 3521, which is the address of the Half Crown Halo place at Interdependence in Roosevelt, and also the 2345 from yesterday. We're keeping there, of course, and put them together, put the 2 days together, and I'm just going to say. You'll find all the names of the great and grandmothers there because I'm rushing, so I don't want to take the time to go on this line. But I will again this evening. I will give them a greater length again this evening. You heard them many times. It's your turn to say them. You know your own great and grandmother's names. You know your own mother's names. You know your own sister Kazina's names. You know you're not saying them. You need to say them. Say them, darling. Say them so they can say your own name in holiness and sacredness again. And also those of our younger generations, females and males. As well. So both of you, and of course Vanessa and Harlan Elizabeth and Geodora and Martha too. There very much. Okay, and I give you huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs. And you know you can call 24/7.
To save, your greeting has been saved. To change extension type, press 1. To record extension name, press 2. To manage greeting, press 3. To hear messages recorded in this extension, press 4. To delete this extension, press 8. To return to the main menu, press 9. Enter the extension number or press pound to create a new one. To change extension, please choose extension type 1.
Oops, hit the wrong thing. We'll fix that.
To delete your greeting, press 2. To hear your current greeting, press 3. To return to the main menu, press 9. Hi, Vanessa and Harlan. To change your custom greeting, please speak after the tone. Press pound when finished.
Hi, younger generations there, but this very much also includes Julianne Marie and Georgine, okay, and also Victoria very much, and all of the other Shekinahs and all the other young Shekinahs and Shekinahs. When we call you as a couple, we are not calling you outside of that circle. You are in that circle, and we are very much calling you in that way. Now here is the milk, and here is the Marvelous Miraculous Budding Blooming Flowers. And here is the pictures wrapped around the heart light. And here are the cakes. And you see your cake is bigger now, and they're equally sized, and they both have world globes on them, okay? And lots of fresh fruit, and pink and green, both, and gold and white for your purity. And we did the ceremony, and I want you to listen to 3521 and keep listening to 2345 again. I say all the names of the, I'm very worried about both of you, so I'm going to double up on this for both of you, Victoria, Mariama, and all those, and I'm also going to say all the usual set with the Margulies and Popper and all of the Filled Marian and all the names, okay? I'm rushing to get this to you. I don't want to take a lot of time. So I'm not going to say all the names, but also say whisper the names of the men too. They're also whispered, okay? And they were whispered at the ceremony. I'm pretty sure I did. If for any reason I didn't, I'll make sure that I update that and include it. And because I can add it on, I'll double check and listen. Sometimes I'm rushing and I forget some things, and but they are included in my heart, and they're all included. So, you know, I say all the blessings and greetings, and we'll also say, Donor Please and Mary Rainbow Sweetheart, Mary, and so let's see. So all the sets that usually go with Victoria and all that, and all the sets that usually go with Grandma Popper and Margulies and Sarah Harriet and Ray and Clara and Sarah Harriet and Ruth Rose and Grandma Popper and Mary and all that, and Dorothy and Lynn and Sharon, and we all call a bunch of people, and we also did that this morning. So you were very much included earlier in the day, and we're connecting these ceremonies for all these ceremonies of these days, and we have some to look forward for Mother's Day coming up. So, and Mother's birthday, Grandmother's birthday, and Mother's Day coming up. So I'm not going to take a long time to send. I want to get this sent to you on time, so I'm not going to say everything, but I say all the kitty cats, Donia Feliz, Maria, the Sweetheart, Whiskers, Tiger, Holly, Buttermilk, Blackie and Buttermilk, and Felix and Felicity and Felix, the two white dogs, very big, very gentle. Butterflies, birds, and bees, all the circles there, especially Julie, Marie, and Georgine. We also got to some of the other great grandmothers who got the branch of the family don't like me. Don't worry about it. And you know, you call me 24/7. I give you huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs.
To save this, your greeting has been saved. To change extension type, press 1. To record extension name, press 2.
Coming right back with a longer message, but here's the milk put in front of you know who, and here's the heart light with the marvelous the pictures, and oops, here's the milk, and here's the marvelous miraculous budding blooming flowers. Here's the heart light with the pictures. Here's the big cake, a bigger cake for you, and both of your cakes are equally sized now, and with all the world globes on. I'm calling back in about 2 minutes. Hi, holy baby girl. Here's the milk, and here's the heart light you gave me with all the pictures, and here's the marvelous miraculous budding blooming flowers, and here are the cakes, newly fresh and bigger size, ready, ready, ready. Now you need to know what you need to do, and you need to call me 24/7. I'll say Papa Margulies, Ray, Clara, Brush Antoinette, Ray, Clara, Sarah Harriet, Jacqueline, a little bit with Jacqueline, and and their branches, who did some things with that branch, and all the other branches too, you know, today earlier, Risen Rose and Grandma Marie and Grandma Popper and Grandma Dorothy and Lynn and Sharon, all the contemporary Shakinas, Marion through, you know, Meredith and all the bunch there, and Georgine and all that. Listen to 5547, but most important, listen to 3521 and keep listening to 2345, 2345. I say all this the stuff from the kitties. I'm rushing, so I just say the kitties and the pets and all the butterflies, birds, and bees, and all the people do the local, global, universal neighborhoods, especially Antonio Rorflees and Mario Rainbow Sweetheart. Mario Rainbow Sweetheart and Antonio Rorflees. Let's put Mario Rainbow Sweetheart first. Mario Rainbow Sweetheart and Antonio Rorflees. Antonio Rorflees and Mario Rainbow Sweetheart. Love you, and I'll do a better message in a few hours. Huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs. Watch the ceremonies from today on YouTube and Google+. You'll see them. Every blessing.
Egalitarian Brotherhood event. Extension type, press 1. Extension is Egalitarian Brotherhood event is risen. Please speak after the tone. Press type, press 1. To record extension, enter the extension. Extension, Egalitarian Brotherhood event is risen. Type, playback and record. To change extension type, press 1. Please speak after the tone. Press pound when finished.
Here are younger generations, there, dearest younger generations, Vanessa and Harlan, Liz, and Vanessa. Here is the milk, and here is the marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers, and here is the heart light, with the pictures on it, and here are the cakes, newly decorated and bigger. Okay, and with the special ceremony today, listen to 3521. And as well as continuing to listen to 2345 from yesterday, put them together. We still have more as we're approaching Grandma's birthday and Mother's Day, and you know you can call me 24/7. I say all the great grandmothers' names, let's say Popper, Margulies, Ray and Clara, Terry, Harriet, Jacqueline, Antoinette, Rose, Marie, Popper, Dorothy, Lynn, and Rachel, and all the current Shekinas. We already said Julia, Marie, and Georgine. They have a message on 5547, and as well as their own. And we're adding out to Georgine said, yes, we'll do that after we talk with you. And we also including let's see, what am I saying? Victoria, Mariama, Libertia, Estrella, Raquel, Lynn and Sharon, all the young people, Hadass through Ross, you know, all the females and all the males. And we named them all, and all the Donnie Rorflees and Mario Rainbow Sweetheart, including you, of course, both. And Donnie Rorflees and Mario Rainbow Sweetheart, Mario Rainbow Sweetheart, and Donnie Rorflees say hi and hugs to Heather and Jam and Heather. And on behalf of Whiskers and Tiger and Holly and Tiger and Whiskers and Buttermilk and Black Hand Buttermilk, and Felicity and Felix and all the flora and the fauna and the furry friends, the pets, but two big white dogs, very gentle, female and male, and the butterflies, birds, and the bees. And all the people, too, of our local, global, universal neighborhoods as Equinox, True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Saviors. You know you can call me 24/7. Make sure you put that milk in front of Julia Marie, Georgine, and Victoria. And if you don't want to start with them, start with some other Kazina. That's fine. Everybody's related. You know that. So, and you can call me, and we included, of course, all the names that they're used to. You listen to 2345 from yesterday, and 3521 from today. Now, 3521 in my heart, of course, includes the 4 also. So that's why we're connecting with 2345. Because that was where the family lived when it was raising 2 daughters, okay? But the son is also included, very much included, and very much part of the ceremony. So don't you worry about anything, but know that you can call me 24/7, and I'm going to be playing some music for all of you today and the next few days that is going to make more sense to you. I love you, every blessing, and huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs.
To save, your greeting has been saved. To change extension type, press 1. To record extension. Extension.
Hi, Georgine, Julia Marie, with Vanessa.
Change your custom greeting. Please speak after the tone. Press pound when finished.
Hi, Georgine, with all the circle, Julia Marie, and Jodora, and Martha, and especially Vanessa and Harlan and Vanessa. There's a new message now on 3521, and I want you to listen to it both with that and 2345. Listen to both of them, and there's a new one for you on 5547 also, okay? And I give you all the huge hugs, and here's the milk, and here's the marvelous miraculous budding blooming flowers, and here is the heart light with our family tree wrapped around it, pictures, and here are the cakes, and they're bigger, and they have more decorations on them, and of course the world globes are there. And we did a big ceremony today, but that's not complete, because we have to get to great-grandmother's birthday, Harriet's birthday, which is the 6th, and also all of Mother's Day, and that includes all of you and all the Shekhinah and the Mother of the Universe. How about that one? So, and we're not disincluding the Papa. The Papa wants us to do this. Papa is not a sexist. The Father of the Universe is not a sexist. Only people are. So wake up, and here's the message. Huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs.
To save this, your greeting has been saved. To change it.
Okay, I think we made the rounds pretty good today, and we'll make sure that other people who didn't quite get the message, or people who are not likely to receive their phone calls today, some of them we have work phones, and they'll get it on Monday. So we'll get to them on Monday. These ceremonies are progressive. You know, they travel in space and time. So we're not limited to just a few hours, but we like to try to gather as many people as we can. And so here is our important graphics for you to look at. Again, this is our ceremony. We have chosen parity instead of patriarchy on your behalf as intercessory. However, you have not done so clearly enough. And I think I left a few people out of the ceremony. I'll add them in addition. I'm just thinking also need to add the sweet and sacred people, and that's important to do. So I'll say that right now. The sweet and sacred people are also added, the Shekinahs and the Ion, and we really have to do a great deal of work with one of those people. One of the younger sister there is really in a trouble situation, but the older one has reached out several times, so we want to credit her for that. And make that the way of all of us. Let's all reach out to one another and make the connections. And we also show you, of course, this marvelous, miraculous place that we're launching we're getting to the stargates from. With or without your agreement, we're dragging you by the scruff of the neck, like a cat does their little kitties when they're off in the wrong direction. I'm grabbing you. And we'll be doing more broadcasts as usual, so come back and visit us. And let's continue to save our world together, past, present, and future, as Equinox Truth Hughes, Co-Secretary General, Co-Savior Roz.